Good Shabbos, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to come in and do a quick video today because, this evening really. And I apologize because the heat just kicked on and it's noisy. So, but I had a kind of a really nice experience just 10 minutes ago. I just got home and unfortunately the camera is shaking. So I got home from running errands. This guy approaches me and starts talking to me. He tells me that there's been a crackhead going around looking in people's cars. And that's quite believable because that's happened before. Unfortunately, the house that I'm renting, or the duplex that I'm renting, used to be the big party house in the neighborhood. So, people go to jail, they come back, and they're expecting their old friends to be here, which they're not. I'm, as you could probably expect, pretty quiet, and my neighbors are pretty quiet, thank God. And there's nothing to see here, folks, so move along, So he comes and tells me, I don't know who this guy is, but he says, "Oh man, there's been a crackhead going around looking in people's cars." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks for telling me." And then all of a sudden he's like, "You Jewish?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh, thank the Lord, you guys are God's chosen people and prophets," and just saying all these very complimentary things. And then he asked for a ride to get back home. And I'm thinking, all right, you're probably just buttering me up to get a ride. But I don't know this guy. And I mean, I'm pretty physically big. I mean, I'm 6'1", and almost 300 pounds, which, okay, I can lose some weight, but I'm a big dude, and this guy was not intimidating to me, but I didn't know if he had a weapon or something. But long story short, I'm like, "Let me clean out my front seat." And he's like, "Oh, thank you, I really appreciate it." I clean out my seat, and he starts going into his life story and how, he used to sell drugs and he used to be involved in, with pornography and all these things. And, he says that he found God and how it's been so uplifting. And, Satan's working overtime to harm him and mess up his life. And I started seeing that this was actually a pretty genuine guy. And trying to stabilize the camera here. This seemed like actually a really genuine guy. And we get talking, and he keeps telling me his life story. And he just snatches my hand, and he's like, "Brother, can I just pray?" And he starts praying. And in my heart, I'm kind of rolling my eyes like, all right, Shabbat's getting close, I don't know this guy. And that was probably the best prayer that I've heard in a long time. He was almost this grown man from the hood. He's just almost in tears. And, he's even during his prayer, he's apologizing, saying, "God, I know I ain't supposed to be praying like this." And I'm thinking, that's exactly how you're supposed to be praying. Letting the dam of your heart just break open and just let all of your emotions, all of your feelings, all of your words come out. And, so I'm, already holding this grown man's hand, just kind of give him a little squeeze. I'm like, "No, it's good, keep going." And, he keeps telling me his life story and how he's, he used to be this, used to be that, and how he's changed. And, you never really know what to trust with people. But I feel like this guy's story was trustworthy. And I eventually ended up taking him home. And, it was a very meaningful experience. So it really put me to shame, though, because he kept saying, even on the way home, he kept saying all these very complimentary things. And, we kept talking. It wasn't just a quiet ride home. But, good people got to watch out for each other. And, I can tell that you're a good guy. And he's like, "Thank you, man. You're a good guy, too." All these things. And sometimes we can push people away because of their life choices. But everybody matters. Everybody has a holy soul that, too much in society, people, and sometimes validly, they point out all of our flaws and our negative points. But nobody ever just comes up to you and says nice things. Why would they? But to get a negative comment from somebody, it's very easy. Just talk to somebody and they'll tell you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, especially online with Facebook debates. Oh gosh, we all know about Facebook debates. Someone's going to inevitably call you a heretic or a fake believer or child of Satan, just something terrible. And it's like, why can't we just agree when we agree and then disagree when we disagree? And then still be nice to people. I don't get it. I mean, and I'm not perfect either. Like, there's been times when I've not been nice to people, but this has really been it's something that I learned, in coming out of my marriage, that no matter who a person is, you can still treat them with kindness and still show them love. And this guy really just seemed like he needed some love. And, I did end up giving him some money, and it's not really because I felt bad for him, and it's not because I believed him. I just felt that it was the right thing to do. Is he going to go buy drugs with it? Possibly. I don't know. But what if he actually needed it? Again, I don't know. Was he really reformed, and did he really give his life to God? Again, how am I supposed to know? To say that he did would be judging him. To say that he didn't would be judging him. I took his story at face value. And at that moment, he seemed like somebody who just needed some love. And this is something that everybody, and even, including myself, needs to hear. Everybody needs to hear this. That you were good people. And this is a difficult world. And we're all just trying our best, and we're trying to find remedies to alleviate pain, and to alleviate suffering, and to make our difficult lives easier. And sometimes those remedies are not real remedies. The drugs are not real remedies. The pornography is not the real remedy. Getting married too early, or to the wrong person, which is something that I did. And trying to alleviate loneliness, and trying to improve my situation in life, and trying to get to a situation, get to a point that I thought was better. I did it on my own terms, and I did it too quickly, and I made poor choices. I've had my own struggles in life. And without those struggles, you can't really relate to people who have struggled. So, I'm thankful for those things. And this shaking camera is driving me crazy. But we won't go on much longer. I just want to say, there's a reason why in my YouTube videos I call the audience my favorite Hasidim. And they're not my Hasidim, they're just my viewers. But all of you are Hasidim. All of you are Tzaddik. All of you are good people. But the people that we usually think of as being good people are the people who have realized this in themselves and live up to that mission. So, may we all have a good Shabbos. May we all live up to our potential and to really embrace that godly image after which we were made. We were all made b'tzelem Hashem. We're all made in the image or the likeness of God. You're not just some dude, you're not just some person. You're like God. This shouldn't be controversial. This is what it says in the text. We were made like God. And this is why when the Satan, he goes to Adam and Chava, he says, eat from the fruit, you'll be like God. In some ways not. In some ways, we were already like God. We didn't have to eat from a tree of knowledge of good and evil. We didn't have to derive that from the outside because we already had that within us the whole time. We already had the goodness. We didn't have the knowledge, but we already had the goodness. So let's embrace the goodness. Let's live up to that goodness. And embrace the simplicity of life. It's like what Yaakov is saying in the comments. I love it. It's embracing the simplicity of life. Embracing the goodness in everybody. Loving everybody. And this doesn't mean that we have to accept everything that other people do. We can judge with our hearts and say, yes, this is right, that's wrong, as long as our actions are still with love. You know, it's about showing kindness and showing the love that we all deserve to everybody. So I hope that you all are doing well. Good Shabbos. For those of us in Eastern Standard Time, let's go light candles. Good Shabbos.